Well, greetings from Pennsylvania once again. A bit of a different intro, but I do have something to share with you. Camping season is on its way, folks. The Pennsylvania map out. And what are we sitting on? Do it right. So this is my new setup, my new camp toilet. Something I bought recently, the bucket and the top seat here. So let me show you what we got here. Here's a closer look at the setup. The bucket I bought separately, obviously from Lowe's. Lowe's is not endorsing this video in any way though, but yeah, do it right. I saw that, I was looking for a bucket, I saw that in the store, I was like, you know what? That fits perfectly with this video. You know what I'm talking about, do it right. Yeah, and this is what I bought off of Amazon, this toilet seat topper. It's made to fit on top of a 5-gallon bucket. The bucket itself was like, what, maybe $3 or something like that. This was a little bit more than $15. There are more expensive ones, but, you know, and I'm not going to pay like $30-50 for a toilet seat, but this will work. A little bit we'll talk more about using that, what my plans are for it, because I'm not going to just poop in an empty bucket. You can use a bag and some other things to make it a little bit more better, depending on where you're camping. But yeah, but why get something like this? You know, it all depends on where you're camping. If you're camping in a state park, they obviously have facilities that you can go to the bathroom there. You wouldn't need something like this. But I have started camping at state forest sites which don't have facilities. You know, you can just poop in the woods. You know, you're supposed to, like, if you do that, you're supposed to kind of like dig a hole or scrape a depression out, do your business, and cover everything up with the dirt and the leaves. But not everybody does that. And even then, if everybody keeps doing that in these campsites, I don't know. It's better to have something like this along so that you can do the whole, like, leave no trace thing, you know, take it in, take it out type deal. So you can just dispose of it properly. And as I said, it would be better to have a bag in here as well. I'm going to go ahead and put that in and show you what it looks like. Then of course here it is with the bag in. This is just a regular kitchen garbage bag, maybe an 8-gallon one. And of course you can, I don't know, this attached fully on, but yeah, you can just do your business in there. That way you don't have to do any cleanup after you're done. You could just take the bag out, tie it up, and dispose of it. You don't have to clean the bucket out or anything. And of course there are all kinds of things you could do to adapt this situation. I mean, you could just use one bag per poop, or, you know, if you were camping with multiple people, you could put like wood shavings or sawdust in the bottom of the bag, you know, do your business, then cover that up with more wood shavings or sawdust or things like that. So, you know, that would help reduce the smell and stuff for the next person to use it. I should also say you can buy like these little privacy tents that are made for something like this. They're made for have like a little bathroom in camp, or to be able to take showers in camp. They're kind of narrow but tall, or sometimes they're used for changing rooms at different places. So if you're going to be camping with other people, that's something you could look into getting as well. They're not that expensive. A better one costs maybe $80. That's something to consider. But if you're going to be camping by yourself out in the woods at a more remote forest site, maybe you don't really need to worry about the tent. But those are some things you could do. Even if you were camping at a state park, there's something you could keep by your tent. You know, if you have to get up in the middle of the night to go, you don't feel like walking, you know, half mile to the bathrooms, you could just have this right nearby too. And as I mentioned before, it is a fairly cheap thing to buy. I mean, the whole thing, less than $20 for this. You might be able to find cheaper, but it works, and it's easy to keep in your car, you know, traveling. Now, if you're going to be like backpacking in more remote sites, you're not going to haul something like this along, obviously. But this is for sites where your car is nearby, either at a camp, a state park, or like a state forest site, the motorized sites where you can bring something like this along. Like I said, it's convenient. You can do your poop, and then when you're done, or going to be leaving your camp, you just take the top off, fold up the bag, tie it off. I'm not going to tie this one off because it's not used yet, you know, and then dispose of it properly, and that's it. And then you have no cleanup or anything to do, unless you get a hole in your bag, which you shouldn't. And then this is ready just to throw back in your car and go home. Pretty easy. I mean, you could spend a little bit more on a better top. This one does feel like a little bit more cheap plastic, but, you know, for me it's okay for now. But like if you definitely if you're having like multiple people use it in camp, you could buy a more expensive one, but like I said, it works. And any old bucket will do. You don't have to buy a new bucket. You can find an old one down in your basement, but like I said, this one's cool. Do it right. And you should do it right. An interesting fact, one of the big problems they have, like places like even like at Mount Everest, you know, the highest mountain in the world, a lot of people try to climb that every year. One of the biggest problems they have is poo. You know, like if you poo out in the woods, like here in Pennsylvania, it deteriorates over time. But everything's frozen on Mount Everest. You know, if you poo up there, it just stays. It stays up there. It doesn't go anywhere. So, but yeah, we have different policies enacted to try and take care of that. But here, even here in campsites, you're in Pennsylvania, like even some of these more forest campsites, they're a little more remote. You want to keep your site clean for the next person that comes along. Like I said, you can run into issues where, you know, on the edges of your camp, you find where somebody did their business but never really tried to cover it up or anything like that. And it's just not the coolest thing in the world to find at your campsite. So having something like this is just better. You know, do it right. You know, pack it in, pack it out. You know, you're kind of the same principle, but on a different note there, if you know what I'm saying. I also want to say too, when I bought the seed on Amazon, there was some other product called poo gel, which I forgot to look it up. I was good before I came down here, but I'm in my backyard. But apparently, it's something that, you know, after you poo in your thing here, that some gel you could pour on it that helps break it down or handle the smell and stuff like that. You can look it up if you want. It's called poo gel. I don't know, something to consider if you're into that kind of stuff. But like I said, you could also just buy wood shavings or sawdust to put in there to help keep the smell down, things like that. Also, if you're going to pee in there, like the sawdust or the wood shavings would help to absorb all that moisture as well. Like I said, if you're at a state park campsite, you just go to the place to pee, but depending on what you're doing, this would work for that as well. So anyway, and I would just prefer to have this too. You know, like when it comes, you know, in the middle of the night when you got to go, you know, do a poo in the middle of the night, maybe, you know, instead of trying to sitting wandering around the woods with a flashlight and who knows, trying to find a place to go, you have this right here. Just have it sit outside your tent. I mean, you could have it inside your tent, but I think once you're done, it's best to put it outside the tent. But anyway, just something to consider as well. But yeah, that's my new poo system. I think it just gives peace of mind too. You know, so like I said, instead of just trying to scramble through the woods and the brush and the thorns trying to find a place to do your business, you can just have this. But like I said, once again, depending on where you are, you might want to have one of those privacy tents too. But like I said, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can put it like behind your tent or somewhere where no one will see you. You can spit that out. But yeah. Anyway, you can let me know what you think. If you have your own poo system that you use for camping, you can let us know down below. But I think this will work for me. Just one method. And to be honest, you could use the bucket to store things as well, you know, for traveling on the way to your campsite. And then once you get to the camp, you'll take them out and use it for this purpose. It's like, it's not going to get dirty as long as you have a bag in there. And then you can, when you're leaving, you can put stuff back in there for the trip home. Just another thought too, because it can be used for storage, not just for poo, but for other stuff. As long as your bag doesn't burst. Anyway, all right. Once again, do it right. You know, keep your campsites clean, not just for you, but for the people that come after you. Because I've been at campsites that have been trashed by previous people, and it's just not cool. But yeah, do it right. But anyway, that'll be it for this fun, different little video to make. Just something I would share with you because I think it's a good idea. I saw them before on Amazon and other places, these toilet seat toppers, or for a bucket, and I think it's a good idea. But you will see this in the future. I'll show it at different campsites that I go to this summer, spring. That's coming up soon. Today's March 15th, so camping season is on its way soon. Anyway, all right. Like I say, if you have other ideas that you use, there's different variations of this, you can let us know in the comments. All right, folks, thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.